Alright, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Diary of a Creator, episode 4 now. Dude, it has been hectic. I'm so tired right now. When I'm not working, I'm working. So it's been a constant hustle in trying to make all of this work, but we're trying it out, we're making it happen. Yeah, a couple weekends ago, I was able to make it out to New York to see all my good friends and also take a day before to get out into the city to do some really great footage. It was a bit of a cold day, so I didn't go to any kind of particularly amazing spots. I was over in LIC in Queens visiting a friend, and I was going to honestly walk to the Brooklyn Bridge, which is actually a couple of hours walk. And I got outside, and honestly, I just kind of went wherever I felt like going. The main goal was to pretty much take the backpack, get used to just having the gear, and use everything. So funny because actually while I was walking across the street, there's a guy that stopped me, and he was like, "Excuse me," and he, worked in construction, and he's like, "I just have a couple questions. I have this camera. I was wondering about what your recommendations are," and he's using all this lingo and stuff, and I was like, "Oh man, he's in it." And it's funny because I was like, "Oh wow," and I had to stop him short, and I was like, "Listen, I'm just starting myself, and he laughed because I realized that how I appeared was that I had such a professional backpack that's like a tripod attached and a bigger camera with a bigger lens, and it looked like I'm a professional, so at least I have the look down, I guess, in some ways. But the knowledge base, I'm still getting there. And so I wished him well, and we kind of laughed it off. And then I kind of took myself around a couple of blocks, trying out the camera in of itself, trying it in different, ways and forms, and carrying it and seeing how steady it was as I was walking, to doing different techniques as far as putting the strap around the lens and holding it and seeing how well it would sway and stabilize in that way, capturing different angles with the sunlight. We had a little bit of golden hour happening, so it was really nice against the train tracks where I was. There's something about the train that I find really, what's the word? For me, it's a bit cozy, while also mysterious and a little unsettling in some ways. The screeching of the train tracks, how it goes. Trains are something that I grew up with, and so I've always listened to trains, even when I would fall asleep, to even when I'd wake up in the middle of the night and I couldn't sleep, I would hear trains. So wherever I was living in a stage of my life, whether that was in Vietnam, whether or not that was in Hartford when we first moved here, to other parts of Connecticut. And in some ways, I think, trains can be unsettling, but in some ways, for me, it's a sound of childhood that really brought me back there, and is a bit nostalgic. So being able to capture that was really cool, and I really enjoyed that. There's something about the motion of trains that's also very familiar, and it has a really nice aesthetic to it. I did follow through with shooting in vlog to really force myself to learn all aspects of it. And first editing was really, really funny. I took the footage back and hung out with my friend and Khushbu and Valmik. Shout out to them, who I stayed with. And Khushbu and I share very similar creative passions. We would talk a lot about our artistic side endeavors in college, and she's very familiar with film work. And we were laughing because I was trying to edit even a still from the video, and I was having such a hard time. And going through each bit of detail, I realized that, giving you dynamic range and the ability to do so much with the picture and footage, I just didn't realize that you had to do every little bit, I think we're so used to hitting auto and then just sort of correcting itself. But you know, artistically, this is the amount of range that you would want to have full control over how your picture comes out. And you know, at one point I was like, you know, I'm just gonna change it to black and white. And so that was a joke essentially when I posted on Instagram as far as how color grading was going. And I pulled this really great shot of myself. It wasn't clearly, the joke is because it's not in color. It's because it's black and white. And so that's all I had time for. And I was like, man, I'll have to deal with this footage later on. And then a week later, of course, I did some shifts and, you know, housework, the usual. And then, of course, I had to make sure I get the client work done, right? And so I, you know, edited the short form as far as, you know, getting out the reel so that she could post for the birthday party. And I'm finishing up on the long form of that footage as well so that she has that for her own private use and, you know, memory collection. So then after doing that, I wanted to make sure I got that done. I was able to finally settle in and figure out the whole vlog footage situation. And, you know, there's something about the popular teal and orange look that a lot of people have been using, and something that I've always wanted to also venture into and, you know, see what I can pull from that. And the orange that sort of comes out from like the midtones and sort of highlighting the skin tones that come out look really good, and also the backdrop with a little bit more of a turquoise kind of blue, and the contrast in particular creates a really nice film appearance with things. And that's what's really interesting, and how the footage came out is that it felt like I pretty much created a short film, which is honestly kind of cool. So I, you know, did some editing and refined it to the way that I wanted it to look, and then I saved the preset. And so I created my first preset, and I lovingly called it Vitamin C and T, playing off of, you know, the orange and teal and turquoise look. But if you haven't gotten a chance to see it, I'll link it here, and it'll be a part of a new series or playlist I'll put over there to showcase my video artistry, development, and evolution, and you could see it all play out there. So yeah, pretty cool. I'm really excited to play along more with that and essentially start to create my own presets with things. It's a lot of work, you know. I did actually, you know, in all transparency, I did have some LUTs or lookup tables that I was using, and so I used one, and then I forgot what it was called. I think it was like some random one I found like for free, and I was like, okay, let me just add that, and then it already created some good contrast, and I just edited quite a bit of the rest to make it look more natural and, you know, the way that I wanted it to. But I hope you like it. Let me know what you think, and more than likely I'll be doing a lot more of that. I'm excited to explore that further, as well as take that into how I capture moments on my trips and travel, as well as possibly doing things for businesses and other clients as well. So, all part of the hustle right now. I'm working hard, I'm a little tired, but we're gonna keep on keeping on and check in week to week to see how things are progressing. This is a busy week, it's holiday week. I still gotta put up Christmas lights and figure out some house stuff along the way, and prepare to, you know, set some goals for next year, and do all the things that I want to do to really build up something pretty awesome. So, all right, thanks for sticking with the ride. Let's keep it up. Much love. Catch you next time. See ya.